let's get into the first story, the one I was just alluding to. Pam Bondi and the DOJ suing the People's Republic of New York, bringing up on charges of violation of immigration law. I haven't seen the actual filing yet. That would be with federal court. I don't know if that's actually been done or not, if she was just announcing that it was imminent. But a shocking revelation here, Mr. Galloway. What do you think? Just initially, your initial reaction here in the news.
Initial reaction, obviously, we're moving in the right direction. We could expect to see a lot more of this as Trump's appointees, get confirmed. But I got to tell you the truth. Like, unless I see Kathy Hochul leaving the governor's mansion in handcuffs, what is this for? So it's a lawsuit. It's not she's not being charged, right? Like, I want lawfare. They initiated a lawfare. Let's double down. Let's do it.
Sir, I demand satisfaction.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless it's something that she did outside of the scope of her authority, there's really not going to be a perp war.
Wait. Didn't the Democrats just lecture us for a few years now that no one is above the law and no one should be immune because of the position they hold? So what do you mean acting like in the scope of her authority or whatever? No, the Democrats set the precedent, right? I didn't see a Supreme Court ruling saying the governor of New York is immune from prosecution for violating the law during her term of office. If she's found to be violating federal law, charge her.
I got you, but is she violating federal law personally or in her official capacity? When they went after Trump, he was out of office. They had to go through the procedures of impeachment and then the trial in the Senate to try to get him out of office. So everybody has their own quirks. And again, I haven't seen the paperwork yet to see exactly what this is. Is this a civil lawsuit or is this a quasi-criminal action for violating federal immigration law? We have a little bit of information from Pam Bondi, who held a press conference. I broke it down into some highlights in this clip, pal, just for the announcement here. Let's take a look at this, and then we'll have a little bit more of a chat here.
Because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Letitia James and Mark Schroeder, who is with DMV. This is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today. As you know, we sued Illinois, and New York didn't listen. So now you're next. Millions of illegal aliens with violent records have flooded into our communities, bringing violence and deadly drugs with them. And if you don't comply with federal law, we will hold you accountable. We did it to Illinois, strike one. Strike two is New York. And if you are a state not complying with federal law, you're next, get ready. And what New York has, they have green light laws, meaning they're giving a green light to any illegal alien in New York where law enforcement officers cannot check their identity if they pull them over. Law enforcement officers do not have access to their background. And if these great men and women pull over someone and don't have access to their background, they have no idea who they're dealing with. And it puts their lives on the line every single day. Violent criminals, gang members, drug traffickers, human smugglers will no longer terrorize the American people. And that is why we are here today.
So there's the announcement, pal. It's a little short on facts and details. There's mention about New York law, the green light laws as they're called here in the People's Republic of New York. But your initial reaction to the tone and what Pam Bondi was actually talking about.
So she's got the right tone, obviously. She's a smart woman. She used the term charges a little loosely, right? If she was filing suit, that's one thing. But she's saying that we're filing charges. Did she file charges in Illinois before New York? Like, I thought that was just like a suit. I don't know. Filing charges to me implies a criminal act, right? And the statute, which Tom Holman keeps citing all the time, is if you're harboring or shielding illegal immigrants, which New York clearly is doing, right? So I don't know. It sounds like it should be a charge, like a legit charge to someone.
Well, it two things. First thing is Pam Bondi is a career prosecutor, so I think she's accustomed to using the word charges instead of causes of action or allegations
I think you're
or
right.
words like that. It could be that. The other thing is a state can be charged with criminal acts in violation of federal law. And I think that Pam Bondi might be alluding to that as well. I just need to see the pleadings and the filings to understand exactly what's going on with the lawsuit, and then we can talk a little bit more intelligently about it. But let's assume for the moment that it's basically civil violations of criminal statutes, that it's just causes of action against New York. At the press conference, Pam Bondi was asked pretty much what you were just asking. Like, what's the deal with these charges and how does this apply to New York? So let's play this clip as well.
Just briefly walk us through what the legal claims are you're making in this lawsuit.
Yeah, absolutely. So the green light laws are that this is what the green light law says. It's a green light to illegal immigration, which says they can comply. That law is unconstitutional. They can't do that. And what they've done is they have a tip-off provision that requires New York's DMV commissioner to promptly inform any illegal alien when a federal immigration agency has requested their information. So think about the men and women in law enforcement behind me. That's basically, that's not basic. It's tipping off an illegal alien, and it's unconstitutional. And that's why we filed this lawsuit. And that's why we charge Mark Schroeder, too, because he runs DMV.
So that provides a little more clarity into what's going on here. I think Pam Bondi is saying that New York law violates federal law, and therefore they must be charged with a violation, and the penalty would probably be an exorbitant fine and, taking down that law in the state of New York or something like that. I don't know, but that's what it sounds like to me, at least on first blush here.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It's a force of habit. She keeps using the word charged. Yeah, I mean, on its face, it seems like shielding of illegal immigrants, right? If you're tipping them off that there was an inquiry into their driver's license, if the police pull up behind you and run your plate, you don't get notified in the mail or by a phone call from the commissioner of the DMV telling you that someone inquired about your history or status, right? So why are they? Right? New York is clearly in violation of federal law. And by the way, Gene, I get sick and tired of hearing people say, my state's not going to enforce federal law. That's immigration is a federal issue. So is kidnapping. So is bank robbery, right? There's lots of federal laws that local jurisdictions enforce, right? Drug trafficking. There's tons of them. I can go on all day where both levels of government have some say in this. And sometimes it's exclusive to the federal government, but the local authorities do in fact help out, right? So this should be no different. And they're not even asking them to take proactive or affirmative steps. They're asking for access to DMV records like the FBI would have if they were conducting a criminal investigation against you, an American citizen.
Right. And let's take this a step further. Let's bring it down to an individual level. Can you, Ross Galloway, simply say to any level of government, I refuse to follow this law, even though I live under that jurisdiction?
No. I mean, you can.
So why should New York State be able to do that?
They shouldn't be, right? And hopefully Republicans get their heads out of their asses because there's multiple ways to attack, right? You got to hit them with the tennis ball machines here. Multiple balls going at them. One is lawfare. That's terrific. Two is funding, right? All these discretionary funds that DOJ is digging up, and every federal department has these things, especially Department of Homeland Security. They give New York a lot of money. Stop giving it to them. Just like how, do you think it's a coincidence that there is no federal law that says you have to be 21 years old to buy alcohol, yet every state in the union made it 21 years old? Why? Because federal highway funds are tied to that provision at the state level. So Republicans need to get off their ass, stick together, eliminate the filibuster, which I hope to go into more later, and start squeezing them. No, any state that does X, Y, or Z, DEI, no voter ID, you lose these federal funds, period, if it's discretionary.
I'm cutting you off.
But from a constitutional point of view, because we both cite the Constitution, what level of government is charged with the administration of immigration policy?
That's actually very clear cut, because under the Obama administration, he sued the state of Arizona, and the Supreme Court decided that, like the Constitution says, the federal government has complete jurisdiction over immigration.
So basically what is happening here is the state governments are using what levers of power they have to interfere with the constitutional authority of the federal government. That's what's going on.
Yes, and if the federal government, under the Constitution, has exclusive authority in this area of immigration, and the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land, the Supremacy Clause, the states cannot do anything to thwart the federal government from exercising a power exclusive to them. Any law they pass in that domain, and I'm not a lawyer, is the supreme law of the land under the Constitution. They must comply.
Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. Let's talk about this New York law, though. Let's talk about New York's green light laws. Pam Bondi spoke about it briefly, and I'm sure it's going to be in the lawsuit. But I figure we should take a look at what New York State DMV says about these green light laws. Let me pull up the DMV website here and we can go through it together. So here it is. This is from New York State DMV, driver's licenses and the green light law. They have a whole web page dedicated to it. The Driver's License Access and Privacy Act, commonly known as the Green Light Law, was enacted in 2019 and took effect in December of 2019. It allows all New Yorkers age 16 and older to apply for a standard, not for federal purpose, non-commercial driver's license or learner permit, regardless of their citizenship or lawful status in the United States. They don't need a social security number for it, apparently. Applicants who have never been issued a social security number are eligible to apply. They just have to sign an affidavit of never having been issued a social security number. You can't get it as a non-driver ID. They have language assistance and all these things. Privacy protections. The law provides a number of privacy protections that limit data sharing, including to agencies that primarily enforce immigration laws, federal government, and requires disclosure to the license holders when immigration enforcement agencies request data from. So here's the deal. I don't know what the hell happened. My whole system just crashed here. So it says my device is not connected on my computer. I need to connect my microphone and my cam before adding myself to the stream here. So you know what? I'm going to wing it from my phone here. This is a lot like a bus ride we took where we had to string together a bunch of devices together just to make sure that I'm able to do this. So sorry for all the feedback, everybody. And I think what I'm going to do, pal, is just proceed without a camera here. I'll put a little photo of myself into post-production and go back from there.
What kind of leaky ship are you running here?
The law provides a number of privacy protections that limit data sharing, including giving data to enforcement agencies on immigration. Who are they talking about? They're talking about the federal government, of course. It's kind of amazing that the law on its face openly aids and abets illegal immigrants. It's absolutely crazy to my mind to think that.
Yeah, I mean, they're clearly harboring or shielding illegal immigrants in the state of New York.
How do they think they can get away with this?
So it's wild. So like anybody who trusts that the DMV is doing the right thing and not sharing information they probably shouldn't share with the Board of Elections to register people to vote is crazy to begin with. And number two, this is clearly violating federal law, and it's on their website saying that they're going to do such, right? Imagine if they said it about terrorists Like, yeah, if the FBI is investigating you for terrorism and they hit us up for information, we are going to give you a heads up that happened, right? How would that work? Would anybody entertain something so stupid? This is federal law, immigration law. What's the difference?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no difference here. I think the difference is New York wanted to openly oppose Donald Trump, and they created this law because they wanted to openly oppose Donald Trump.
But I want to know who goes to jail at some point, right? This is not just we're going to oppose Donald Trump. Like the Senate Democrats right now, they are being obstructionists, right? They are voting party line against all his nominees. They're demanding 30 hours of debate time. That's why his nominees are going through at snail's pace, right? That's normal political BS. These people are violating federal law on their public-facing websites, right? Something has to happen to these people.
I completely agree. I only, like I said, we need to see the pleadings on all of this to understand exactly what the hell's going on. That's what it comes down to. What are the magic words in that magical piece of paper that is giving any indication as to what their intention is? Is it going to be a large fine? Is it going to be repeal of the law itself? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know exactly how they're going to be handling this.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think they'll get some of these things are going to be found to be unconstitutional. There may or may not be fines, but at the end of the day, the Republicans in Congress need to step up and hurt New York and places like it.
If you like that clip from our new show, Behind Enemy Lines, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other shows, and tune in live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.